After the harrowing balloon crash, the castaways gather on the desolate shore of Lincoln Island, realizing just how dire their situation has become. Cyrus Smith, the group's brilliant leader, is still missing, leaving Gideon Spilett, Nab, Pencroff, and Harbert to face the wilderness alone. They conduct a grim inventory of their possessions, finding only the clothes on their backs, a single grain of corn, and a few basic tools salvaged from their pockets. The atmosphere is heavy with the weight of the unknown as they look out at the vast, indifferent Pacific Ocean. They find temporary shelter in a natural rock formation they name the Chimneys, providing a meager defense against the elements. Nab, ever loyal, refuses to rest, spending every waking moment scouring the coast for any sign of his beloved master, Cyrus, while the others struggle to light a fire without matches. The focus shifts to the desperate search for Cyrus Smith along the jagged coastline. The group treks through the Flotsam Forest, a dense and unfamiliar landscape that tests their resolve and their physical limits. Harbert, the young naturalist, begins to identify local flora and fauna, offering a glimmer of hope that the island might actually sustain them if they can learn its secrets. They find tracks in the sand that suggest Cyrus might have survived the fall and dragged himself inland. But the trail is frustratingly faint and frequently lost among the rocks. Every crashing wave sounds like a call for help, and every shadow looks like a fallen man. Despite their exhaustion and the encroaching darkness, the bond between the survivors strengthens as they realize that finding Cyrus is not just about sentiment, it is essential for their collective survival. In Chapter 6, the geography of their new home begins to take shape as they follow a freshwater stream they name the Mercy River. This river becomes their lifeline, leading them away from the salt-sprayed coast and into a more hospitable interior filled with towering trees and potential resources. The engineering mind of the missing Cyrus is felt in his absence. The men try to think as he would, analyzing the current of the water and the slope of the land. They encounter various animals, including lithodomes and waterfowl, which provide their first real hope for a steady food source. The sheer scale of the island starts to dawn on them. It is not a mere sandbar, but a massive volcanic territory filled with hidden dangers and untapped potential. The Mercy River represents a path forward, a literal and figurative flow of hope through the heart of the island. A pivotal moment occurs when the group finally locates Cyrus Smith, but the circumstances of his discovery are shrouded in a deepening mystery. They find him lying high above the high water mark, in a location he couldn't possibly have reached on his own, given his weakened state. It appears as though he was carried there by a benevolent force, yet there are no footprints other than his own leading to the spot. As they revive him with the few resources they have, Cyrus is delirious, unable to explain how he escaped the churning surf. This miraculous salvation introduces the theme of a hidden protector, a silent observer who seems to be watching over the castaways. Even as they celebrate his return, a sense of unease lingers. They are clearly not as alone on Lincoln Island as they originally believed. With Cyrus Smith back at the helm, the group's energy shifts from panic survival to methodical colonization. The engineer quickly assesses their surroundings with a cold, scientific eye, immediately planning how to harness the island's natural chemistry and geology to create fire, tools, and permanent shelter. He doesn't just see a wilderness, he sees a laboratory. The men are galvanized by his presence, shedding their roles as victims of a shipwreck to become colonists of a new world. They establish a plan to explore the higher reaches of the island, to gain a vantage point, determined to map their territory and master the environment. As the sun sets on their first successful gathering, the fire finally roars to life in the chimneys, symbolizing the spark of human civilization beginning to flicker on the shores of the mysterious Lincoln Island.
End of chapter. To be continued. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you don't want to miss the next chapter.